tool. It's blogging meets instant messaging. It's a village. It's a water cooler. And one of my personal favorites that Laura, the pistachio over here, came up with the other day, which is it's your virtual golf course. Instead of having to go out and putt, you can now have those types of conversations online and save a lot of money not having to fly and see your clients. So I've used it. It's been a great time to meet people. It's actually how I met Fitton and how I got connected to him and to Podcamp, how I've met a lot of the people, how I started my business. My most recent client that I signed found me on Twitter, like what I was saying, got connected. So it's a really amazing platform for reaching out and finding those people that you might not ordinarily meet or find, and you can do it around subjects.
We're just trying to find a way to get our camera.
So, real time life examples. Or shall we?
No picture, apparently.
Oh, yeah, it's been in my bag. I just discovered it was recording in my bag. Sorry about that. So I wonder what I said while I was doing that. If anyone has the patience to watch 20 minutes of blackness, I may get incriminated.
With us.
So one example that I've really enjoyed watching and discovering is Gracefully Here, the new Coleman. Their website just really kind of blows me away. It is so interactive. They have video, they have audio, they have blogging, they just got a new spokesperson, Cynthia Nixon, Miranda from Texas City. They have like 30-second video clips of why she decided to become a spokesperson, what her history with breast cancer is, how she became involved, issues that specifically relate to her and her life and women like her. So I've just been really impressed with the way that they have leveraged new media to get their word out and to really start building awareness. They actually worked with something called Freecode to come up with a Facebook app, which allows people to donate, join, talk, create some forums, some messaging boards. And within 2.5 months, they had 3 million supporters. That's 40% of Facebook had joined their cause just by being there. And now,
by the way, the Facebook apps, if you're doing a Facebook app, costs about $300 to have one made for you. Click Steve Jobs. My story and I have 2 stories for you in how nonprofits are using new media. Does anyone know what College Bowl Sunday is? Besides you. College Bowl Sunday is an event every year in the financial aid world where financial aid administrators get together with help from the Lumina Foundation to get college-bound kids, possibly college-bound kids, to fill out their financial aid paperwork. It takes a little while. A lot of people don't do it because they see it as being overly complicated, and they miss out on a tremendous amount of free money to go to college. I worked with Massachusetts College Bowl Sunday, which is our state agency, doing this. And the last 2 years, we've been trying a little experiment with MySpace. How many people here are on MySpace in one fashion or another? Okay, great. Contrasting to the Susan G. Komen website, MySpace is the other end of design, the north end of the southbound end of design. That said, MySpace has an incredible amount of demographic data available to you. What we did was put up a real simple profile, super simple, with just one big honest do something here on MySpace, and then went out to all the people who are on MySpace within the geographic area that we're looking for, and said, hey, if you are between the ages of 17 and 18, we can tell, and you're in Massachusetts, again, we can tell, we want you to be a friend of this profile, and then obviously go and register for College Bowl Sunday. To do this cost about $35 plus time to add them. It was not a huge expense. If you have a Macintosh computer, actually, I will very, very, very strongly suggest this piece of software. If you have a PC, buy a Macintosh. I kid you not, this is worth it. What does it do? What it does
Spider
is lets you manage your MySpace friends and download demographic data about MySpace users without actually having to be on MySpace, which is nice because no one wants to look at that site. Instead, you have a control panel where you can find the people who say things, in their profile that are self-identified. For example, if you are a Catholic charity, you can find people who are self-identified as Catholic on MySpace, and then send them all friend requests. Have your profile set up so when they come by to visit, even if they don't want to become your friend, you have an obvious sell. How does it work for us? Year over year, we've had a 122% increase at our College World Sunday site. That is probably about 1,000 more students who fill out paperwork, may have gotten free money for college that they definitely would not have gotten before. So it's very, very, very effective. For the time, for the cost, you cannot beat it. The software is $35. We may have changed 1,000 lives. That's pretty cool. Here's where it's really fun. I was at Podcamp last weekend having dinner with my friend Heather, who's right there, and she works for the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. She asked me, how do we find more donors? Particularly, how do we find donors who have a lot of money that want to do some good stuff, but they just don't know that we exist? I said, okay, where are you looking? So I'm looking all over the place. I'm looking online, on websites, on social networks, on LinkedIn. I said, good, LinkedIn, that's a good one. What have you found? Nothing. There's nobody out there just like that. I talked about this in my last session. There is a quote by Fitton from myself. Every profession is a conspiracy against the laity. We all have jargon. Every single one of us. Ask me any about 3-letter acronyms one day, and I will literally put you in a coma. But every profession has own inside code words as to what people are doing. In the corporate world, it's not called donation. It's not called sponsorship. It is called corporate citizenship. I said, let's go on to LinkedIn. Put that in. So we put that in here. I looked at job title, corporate citizenship. This one, I said, let's restrict it to the area around Washington, D.C. just for fun. Who do we find? Well, let's see. We found Noah Janelli from ExxonMobil, corporate citizenship director. These are all people who can at least get the ball rolling, if not write the check themselves. And these are big checks. We're talking like 7, 8, 9 zeros. John Meza, KPMG, Mr. Watson from Sodexo, Capital One. These are not small shops. These are people and organizations that want to do more community outreach, more community building. Heather said, okay, that's awesome, that's great. So what? How do I get in touch with these people? Good question. Let's take the example of John Meza here, KPMG. I said, let's just go look them up. KPMG.com. Terrific. Google says that's where they live. Still don't know how to get in touch with them. You don't want to use the contact us form on their website. That would be a bad idea. I said, let's put in email KPMG.com. Just so you can email the company. First initial, last name at KPMG.com. First initial, last name at KPMG.com. I'm just your friend. So let's go back to LinkedIn. Let's enter some contacts manually. And fun, let's do a couple of combinations. JMason at KPMG.com, JMason, and so on and so forth. Search them on LinkedIn. The one that turns blue is his email address. So now I have a direct contact to this person. I don't use LinkedIn, by the way. I can now just fire Outlook and say, hey, I'm helping my friend Heather at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund look for people who want to be interested in corporate citizenship in the Washington, D.C. area. Mr. Meza, I noticed on LinkedIn that you said if the KPMG Corporate Citizenship Office is in Washington, D.C., would you be interested in helping out the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund? Maybe send you some information. When you think about this, you can talk to any of the corporate citizenship folks anywhere in America. I did a search the other day. There's about 700 of them who put that in their job title. And they are major corporations. I mean, for them to write you $1 million check or a $2 million check would be like, that's like the cream cheese budget for the 38th floor of their office. I kid you not. How does this story end? I don't know. We just did this last weekend. We're going to see what happens. But I can tell you the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund's a lot further down the road towards getting some more donors than they were before last weekend. The final lesson in all this, we've talked about a lot of different social networks, a lot of different applications. If you don't have something that is unique, that's distinct, that's a story that you are passionate about, that cause that you are passionate about, none of this will work. None of this, if you just set up boring sponsor letters, boring websites that say nothing except that the organization about the board chart, you will have complete total failure. It doesn't matter what tool you use. Twitter, MySpace, LinkedIn, doesn't matter. If you are passionate about what you believe in, if you are looking actively to get more people involved in your community, if you're willing to communicate with them, all of this stuff, doesn't matter what platform you choose, all of this stuff will work for you to a degree. Some things will work better than others. You'll find that out over time. Like Marie was saying, there's a new social network every day and 3 more die off every day. So it's not platform specific. Have something worth talking about. Have something worth sharing. People will do a lot of it for you. So with that, let's see what you guys are doing. For the people who are, again, people who are not in nonprofits, raise your hands. Okay.
Not in.
Not, no,